Good morning. We're on the Euro USD this morning, demonstrating a more advanced strategy using ITM Proteus and its additional confluence metrics on the left. So what we're going to do is make sure both are in line, Proteus suggesting the direction and additional confluence metrics adding up in majority. What that means is if at the moment Proteus says high probability associated with a short move, but 3 of the 5 additional confluence metrics are not supporting that as they are long, we will not be taking the trade. All right, back again. It is currently 11:09:23. We skipped the first trade because it didn't satisfy the criteria of the strategy. All Proteus and additional confluence metrics must support the same direction. Right now, we have a high probability short trade pointed out by Proteus, but the additional confluence metrics on the left-hand side once again are not supporting that decision. Since 3 of the 5 additional confluence metrics are blue facing long, but Proteus is of the opinion that we are going short, we will not be taking this trade as it would be aggressive. All right, back again. Next interval up, 11:14:39. Let's have a look at what ITM Proteus is saying on the charts. We have a high probability associated with a high trade, and all 3 additional confluence metrics versus the 5 are pointing in the same direction. We have confluence and agreement between the 2, lagging and leading. Now, what we'll do is we will execute this trade, and if we win, that's great. But if not, we will engage in a recovery trade within the next interval. So stay tuned. All right, back again with roughly 19 odd seconds remaining in this trade. We are looking at the trade having failed. Now, here's what the advanced recovery strategy entails. You have to take double the amount of the initial investment at 25, so that makes it 50. However, if this trade too loses, we will cut that number. We will not engage in any more doubling up. This is strictly a recovery trade within the next interval to see if the trade can be recovered. This is a very high probability event because if a trade fails in Proteus, it is very likely a retracement that will follow in the same direction again. All right, we're back again, roughly 22 seconds remaining now. The recovery trade has won. We are roughly 18 seconds away from expiry here, and the idea behind that in this advanced strategy is that you have one opportunity to go double your initial investment, making sure it is within your risk parameters. So 25 in this case became 50, and that allowed us to recoup the loss on the first trade. The assumption here is a very high probability event because if an ITM Proteus trade suggestion fails, there is a very high probability associated with the fact that that may well have been a retracement that hadn't completed, which makes it a high probability event to go after in a second trade in the immediate aftermath interval. That's what we did here at double the investment to recoup the loss on the previous trade and make a small profit. All right, back again. This is the old trade that expired in the money earlier on. We are at 11:34. We have skipped the 11:30 interval. As you may remember from previous sessions, the 30 and 60-minute marks are to be avoided in the strategy as they are new opening bars on longer term time frames. So we always avoid the 0, 30, and 60. Now we're looking at a high probability trade towards the low side suggested with 3 out of 5 additional confluence metrics in agreement. Therefore, things are lined up, so we'll execute the original amount at 25 on this low trade here on the 5-minute time frame on the Euro USD and come back to you shortly just before expiry. All right, we're back with roughly 35 odd seconds remaining on this trade, which has gone through in the intended direction and is due to expire in the money here. Once again, there was confluence in both leading and lagging indicators presented by ITM Proteus. On the right-hand side, the leading indicator Proteus was suggesting a low direction with a high probability of success. On the left-hand panel, there were 3 out of 5 agreements on the lagging indicator side. So everything was agreeing with a short side move. This strategy basically demonstrates if you are a medium to conservative trader, a moderate to conservative trader, you can not only take Proteus's leading suggestion, but you can compare it to what the additional confluence metrics on the left-hand side are saying and engage in a more comfortable trade where you are being less aggressive than when you are taking just the leading indicator approach. The idea behind that is to agree with more confluence than just one indicator, to have both the current past and future potential pictures in mind before taking a trade. And we also demonstrated a recovery trade scenario where you only execute a double up trade if it is A, within your risk parameters, if it's acceptable within your calculated risk. Secondly, it should only be taken once in the immediate interval after. You don't wait for another 5-minute interval to pass. You take it immediately after the trade is due to expire, just a few seconds before. That trade is only to be taken once. If that fails, we quit and we go back to the original investment amount. This is an example of a strategy that's both safer than trading with just one indicator or the other, or trading with just one set of probabilities or another, and also demonstrated a more advanced way of managing risk when in a situation where you have a failing trade. And if you'd like to do something about it, we demonstrated one type of recovery trade strategy that can be implemented in these scenarios using iTeam Proteus to your advantage. Thank you.